Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of IELTS with Datio, and with me today we have a very special guest, Sean. So, hey Sean, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you.
So some of you may already know Sean. He's a friend of Andy from 5 Minutes About IELTS. So, Sean, how did you know Andy in the first place?
Well, I found out about Andy's channel because the YouTube algorithm suggested it to my wife, and then my wife sent
Wow.
it. Yeah, my wife sent it to me because she knows I teach English on YouTube, and she thought it would be good for me to watch other videos just to see how other English teachers do their videos.
Okay. And then how did you know about me, Sean? I think it's going to be an interesting story as well.
So going back to the Andy story, when I watched his first video, it turns out that he just moved to Canada. And when I found out where he lived, it was only a 3.5 hour drive from my place. So I contacted him, and I drove up to Prince Edward Island, and I did a video with him. And of course I subscribed to his channel, and a lot of his followers started following me, and then YouTube algorithm did it again. It suggested your channel to me. Probably because I'm a subscriber to Andy's channel, and probably because most of my subscribers are from Andy's channel, and probably yours too.
That's interesting how everything kind of connects to each other.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I thought, what a small world. You know Andy, and now you found out about me, and I actually know Andy before too. So guys, if you have a chance, please do check out Sean's channel. Could you also introduce to us your channel again? What is it called?
My channel is called Free 99 English.
So back to IELTS stuff. Today I managed to invite Sean to come on the video to be my guest speaker, and he's actually going to take the IELTS speaking exam with me being the examiner. So actually he doesn't have any idea what the test looks like. So it's going to be a surprise for you, Sean. So I hope you're going to do well on the test. But yeah, we had an American guest before, and now we have a Canadian guest. So I just really curious how Sean's going to do on the test. So should we get started?
Sure.
So in this first part of the test, I would like to get to know you better. So I'll be asking you some questions about yourself. First of all, let's talk about sharing things. Okay. Do you like sharing things with other people?
Yes, of course. I like to share my knowledge about English with my English learners. There's only so much you can do on YouTube, so we have created a WhatsApp group where we can chat and send voice messages, and not only do I share my knowledge, but they also share their knowledge about their culture, which I love learning about.
Who do you want to share things with, your friends or colleagues?
So I don't really want to choose between friends or colleagues, because I think I like to share with both. I like to share with everybody. Sharing with your friends is very natural. So, but sharing with your colleagues, you should always try to get along with your colleagues. So if you share with your colleagues, the chances of you getting along with your colleagues is a lot better.
And what kinds of things are not suitable for sharing?
So in my opinion, I think that the things that are unsuitable for sharing would be information about your personal life. Because most people don't really care about hearing what you had for breakfast or the fight that you had with your kids. So you should probably keep your personal stuff to yourself, and maybe talk about hobbies or other interests, but I would not talk about personal stuff with colleagues.
Right, thank you. So we're gonna talk about perfume now. Do you use perfume?
Well, in Canada, we don't call it perfume. Perfume is for women. In Canada, we call it cologne. And I do not use cologne, but I do use antiperspirant, which is something you use on your arms. But as far as cologne is concerned, I only use cologne when I go out to fancy dinners or fancy parties.
What kind of perfume do you like?
So for women, the perfume that they wear is more of a fragrance that smells very nice. For men, I think most of us prefer a more musky smell to it.
Have you ever bought perfume for others as gifts?
Yes, I've bought cologne for my father when I was younger. I've bought perfume for my mother when I was younger. I have not bought any recently, although they are becoming more and more cheap to buy these days. So they have them at every corner store you can think of now. Whereas before you'd have to, when I was a younger child, back in the 80s or 90s, you'd have to go to like a special store to buy perfume. So it's much easier now. So I should probably buy more.
Thank you. Let's talk about pets. Are there many people who keep pets in Canada?
Oh, of course. In Canada, pets are like family. They're like they're an addition to your family. They are not treated like in other countries. Most pets stay inside with the family, and sometimes even or they're allowed to sit on the couch, which is very strange in other countries. And to be honest with myself, I find it very strange as well.
Have you ever had a pet when you were young?
Yes, I did have a pet when I was young. We had two dogs, not at the same time. One unfortunately passed away in a car accident, and the other one we had for about 12 years. So I grew up with that dog, and she was just like one of the family.
What kind of pet would you like to have in the future?
Well, I am what they would call a dog person. Some people are cat people, and some people are dog people. I prefer dogs, so I would probably have a mid-sized dog, as smaller dogs are a bit annoying.
Thank you, Sean. Now we're moving on to part 2. In this part, I would like you to talk for about 2 minutes on this topic. And the topic is describe someone you enjoy working with. And I'm gonna give you 1 minute to prepare and 2 minutes to talk. So your 1 minute starts now. Right, we'll start and just keep talking. I will stop you when the time is up, so don't worry if I stop you. Okay, you can start talking. Please.
Okay, I enjoy working with my colleague Don. Him and I have we have very similar interests, and we work well together. He has a boat, and we're both very interested in sailing. It's something I'd like to get into one day, and we've gone out on his boat before. We also work very well together. We feed off of each other's energy, and we complement each other very well when we're working. One person will pick up the slack when the other person is too busy to do part of the job. So I think Don would probably be my most favorite person to work with, and we're very close in age. He's only a few months older than me, and so we both grew up in the same era. So I think that is probably why we both get along so well at work, and we also both have the same amount of previous experience on other jobs. So it makes our work gel very closely together. And we have been working together for probably about 6 years now, and we've always worked the same days together, so we've gotten to know each other very well. And it's just a lot of people, when they go to work, it seems like it's work, but when I go to work with my colleague who I like to work with, it doesn't feel like work. It feels more like an enjoyable time to work.
Okay, thank you.
So,
thank you, Sean. So now we're moving on to part 3. In this part, I'll be asking you more general questions related to part 2. Okay, so let's talk about work. which one is more important to you at work, development in work-related skills, or the recognition from your supervisors?
Ooh, that's a very difficult question. I think recognition, but not a lot of recognition all the time, because it can be a bit too much. Because recognition can help boost your morale, and with boosted morale will come better work. So that's why I think it is more important.
Do you think that managers can be friends with their subordinates?
I think that managers can be friends with their subordinates on a very limited basis, because at some point a subordinate may not follow the rules, and you don't want to seem like you're playing favorites with your subordinate, where you would normally discipline a different subordinate that you're not seen as friends with.
In your culture, what kinds of people can be leaders?
In my culture, anybody can be a leader, except for maybe introverts might be a little bit more difficult for them to be a leader, because they're more inward focused on themselves, rather than an extrovert who is very open and talkative and very good at giving instructions.
Has there been a change in the characteristics that leaders should have?
Yes, in my opinion, when I first started working, probably 20 years ago, the mindset of the leaders were more like the military, whereas nowadays most companies, most smart companies, are focusing more on the employee, as whether they're comfortable and educated or not.
Final question. What are the benefits of working for others?
Well, the benefits of working for others is a steady paycheck, steady hours. I don't necessarily think there's a lot of benefits, because I do believe that most people would be better off working for themselves. But that's not the case. I mean, we can't have 100% of the world being entrepreneurs. Companies need to make money, and they need employees to work. So.
Great, that's the end of the test. Thank you. So thank you, Sean, for a really nice performance. I think you really nailed it on your first try. So how did you feel after you took the test? Do you think it was difficult for you?
I don't think it was very difficult, but I did find myself scrambling for answers in my head a little bit. I don't know if it came off on the video or not, but it was fun, and I look forward to doing more with you.
It was really informative, and it was a great sample for everyone to look at. So thank you for joining me today. And guys, be sure to subscribe to his channel, okay? And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button on my channel as well. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see Sean again in the future, and take care guys. So bye.